Frank Layden was a true character, fun, funny, kind, a big personality, and a lover of basketball. The former coach who led the Utah Jazz to the playoffs years ago for the first time, eventually became their general manager, has died at the age of 93. He made such a significant impact on the Jazz, Utah, the NBA. Do yourself a favor. Watch some of his exploits if you can online, and you will see there aren't many Frank Laydens out there today. He was special. And this is your morning Buzzcast for Thursday, July 10th. I'm Abe Madkour. A major shakeup in the sports industry that had everybody talking on Wednesday, as well-known entrepreneur Tim Leiweke has stepped down as Oakview Group CEO. He'll transition to a vice chair of Oakview Group's board of directors, and this came after the U.S. Department of Justice indicted Leiweke for bid rigging related to the Moody Center at the University of Texas. Now, Leiweke forcefully declared his innocence, saying he has, quote, done nothing wrong and will vigorously defend himself, end quote. Tim Leiweke has been the force that has grown Oakview Group into a global sports and entertainment venue services giant that has developed about a half dozen arenas around the world. Climate Pledge Arena, UBS Arena. I mentioned the Moody Center. Tim Leiweke was at AEG, then at Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. He is well known throughout the industry as a force of nature. He co-founded the Oakview Group with Irving Azoff in 2015. Like I said, they have built something that everybody talks about. Now, with Leiweke stepping down as CEO, OVG 360 president Chris Granger was named as the new CEO. Now, Granger has led Oakview Group's venue operation business since 2021. He is well known. He was at the NBA. He was at the Sacramento Kings. He was at Illich Holdings. And like I said, he's been at Oakview Group for the last 5 years. So he steps into the role of CEO. Tim Leiweke now facing this indictment from the U.S. Department of Justice. This will play itself out, but it is a story everybody in the sports industry was texting me and asking me about yesterday. So that's why you're going to want to keep your eye on the next steps around this story. You are going to see more and more of Uber when it comes to sports sponsorships. They have become a sponsor of LA28 and Team USA. So they're the official rideshare and on-demand delivery partner for the 28 games. So there's a couple of things here. First, for LA28, this marks the 8th new sponsor that U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Properties has announced this year. Remember, we said they were slow out of the gate. Well, they're certainly making up for any lost time. They have signed a number of big deals this year, getting them feeling better about hitting their budget. So what could you see? Well, Uber will use its rideshare operations to help people throughout the games get around Los Angeles. Some of the buzz about 28 is how challenging it may be to get around LA for each event. But they will be part of ride sharing. They'll include scooters, bikes, and cars. Also, you'll see Uber Eats. They'll handle on-demand delivery to the villages for the athletes. So again, Uber doubling down in sports sponsorships. Also, you're seeing an accelerated pace of sponsorship sales with the opening for the Olympics in LA just about 3 years away. Boy, more damaging news coming out that will surely impact the NFL Players Association. ESPN reported on Wednesday that the NFL and senior leaders of the NFLPA agreed to confidentiality in hiding the details of an arbitration decision from players that included details of league executives urging team owners to reduce guaranteed player compensation. So there's a lot there, but what does it mean? Well, it means more questions for NFLPA Executive Director Lloyd Howell, who allegedly didn't tell his executive committee of players or even the union president about the findings of the arbitration decision. You think they would want to know. He also didn't share, allegedly, copies of the ruling with the players. Players will not be happy thinking their union leadership had any sort of agreement with the NFL that kept information from being shared with the players. This is a tough look, and the bottom line is there's going to be more pressure on Lloyd Howell and more scrutiny of his leadership of the NFLPA. Staying with the NFL, Eli Manning said he is no longer looking at or interested in buying a minority stake in the New York Giants. He told CNBC it's just too expensive. He's been priced out. He basically said a 1% stake at a team valued at $10 billion turns into, quote, a very big number, end quote. And yes, indeed, if you do the math, that would be a $100 million investment, and you certainly wouldn't get a ton of say or direction or input for that investment. He also said there could have been conflicts of interest with his role on ESPN for the Manning cast, but let's face it, the limited partnerships are only for the very, very wealthy. Eli Manning basically said, I'm out. I can't afford that, but he still plans to be very involved in the Giants organization. So this limited stake of the New York Giants still on the market. Shifting to baseball, get ready for some technology impacting MLB's All-Star Game. Yes, the league will add the automatic balls and strikes challenge system to the big game next week in Atlanta. So this is interesting because they are using this as another test case. Because remember, it could be a permanent part of baseball as soon as next year. So next week, what you will see, each team will be given 2 challenges with the ability to keep them if the challenge is successful. A pitcher, a catcher, or a hitter can ask for a challenge, and it has to happen almost immediately after the pitch. So we'll see how fans, viewers react to this. Baseball's competition committee will meet later this summer to determine if the automatic balls and strikes will be instituted next season. Remember, it's been tested in the minor leagues and in spring training. Baseball, they are very bullish about this system, and they've cited data that shows nearly 70% of the fans who have seen this system and who have been polled about automatic balls and strikes said they would like it to be part of the game moving forward. So that's an interesting data point that they'll surely continue to tout. And we talk about the need for more revenue on campus in terms of generating more revenue, selling more sponsorships, but there is also the belt tightening that is coming on campus with the new revenue sharing rules. Here's an example, and it's at the University of Southern California. They will eliminate 12 jobs in their athletic department. That's a lot. And that is in an effort to reduce headcount, reduce costs in the wake of the House settlement. So, of course, there's generating revenue, but there's also containing costs. Some schools have opted to cut sports in an attempt to reduce costs, but the University of Southern California right now, they are not cutting sports, but they are reducing headcount. This is an issue that we'll continue to watch across campuses around the country. And finally, an SBJ programming note, make sure you listen to SBJ's sports media podcast this week. Austin Karp, Molly Kalaline look back 15 years to the decision when LeBron James announced his move to the Miami Heat from the Cleveland Cavaliers. They also look into F1 media rights. And finally, with MLB All-Star Weekend approaching, they are joined by Joe Davis of Fox Sports, and he'll talk about what he is looking forward to in Atlanta. Also, MLB Network's Robert Flores joins the show to talk about the state of the league, as well as his thoughts on why MLB Network, the league-owned network, continues to see success. All that and more on the SBJ Sports Media Podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe. Available now wherever you get your podcasts. And so that is your morning Buzzcast. I'm Abe Madkour. Thanks for listening. Stay healthy. Be good to each other. I'll speak to you on Friday.